coming to Minnesota.
A character who was like Dumbledore or like Gandalf, you know, like all warlocks and wizards appear to be very old white men with long beards. And that was not really what I was going for. I was like, why couldn't a warlock be young and cool and have a party for his, you'll never actually use in the book, but you still kind of need to know it. That is just a lot of research and a lot of sort of, you know, making all of that stuff work together with the history of the world that you also need to know in 5 pages. At the end, she meets a nice man and he marries him. And I was like, what is this story? But I was just like, yeah, you know, Tessa, she's 17 years old. When I was 17, I was reading everything. So, you know, in that sense, I really do relate to Tessa. Not everything she read was Tale of Two Cities. And are interested in the emotional stakes of the story, you get a lot more out of the epilogue. You know, research goes into anything that you write. It really, there's nothing that you can write that isn't going to require you to look up something, you know, into something. You know, with writing The Infernal Devices or The Last Hours, there's a ton of historical research that goes into those because even though this is a world with magic, it's still very much our world, and so everything that surrounds these characters has to be accurate. So it was a lot of like, you know, I mean, what I did and was read a lot of diaries and letters that were written by people in those time periods, because I feel like that's the way to get the most sort of accurate kind of view of things. But you don't always know what it is you're going to need, and you find yourself falling down these rabbit holes of like, when were strike on the box matches invented? Like, you know, when was barbed wire invented? When was this or, you know, that invented? When was this particular expression that, you know, the characters are using? Would that have been something they would have known to say, or something they wouldn't have known to say? So it's a lot of these kind of of trying to not fall so far down the rabbit hole that you lose sight of like the plot is the main thing, and this stuff is all sort of surrounds it and supports it, but it isn't. You're trying to create a situation where you're not showing your research. It's there. It makes up the tapestry of the world. It's part of the texture, but you are not pausing the book to give people a 10-page, you know, history of European banking just because you had to read about it.
I was reading it earlier.
That's a copy of The Wicked Powers, first chapter. Amazing.
I usually just sign here because I have over-designed this book and there's nowhere for me to sign.
This is the line. Sneaks around.
Kevin Meal is big in Minnesota. I really like that. Yeah. I feel like, you know, it doesn't get enough appreciation.
Exactly. Thank you.
Hi. How are you doing?
Oh my gosh, so amazing. Thank you so much for writing these series, and Clockwork Princess is like one of my favorite books of all time.
Aww, thank you.
I'm so excited to see where Jem and Tessa go.
And now they're living together and they've got these 2 kids and all this stuff.
I can't wait.
It's interesting writing them as, you know, grown-up adults.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm gonna give these books to you.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Oh, so great. How are you? After all these people, are you still?
You're like, I was like, where'd you go? You're all the way over there.
It's so nice to meet you. Oh my
Like your
gosh.
shirt.
Oh, thanks.
So what about you? Favorite character?
Oh god, that's a hard question.
I don't know. I'm sure Jason was a pretty good choice. Jason's an excellent choice.
How many people have said that? That's come to mind.
I know. So far, I've gotten a lot of cats and Will.
Oh,
So-
yeah. I just finished Swordcatcher yesterday, and I'm so excited to dive into this.
Enjoy your
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Oh man.
That's an old ass copy.
I know. I was gonna say this one looks like it's been loved.
It has notations from when I was like 13.
So cute.
I was like, but it's so symbolic, you know?
Oh, I love that. So you were like a serious reader when you were 13, making like notes and like commentary on themes and stuff like that. I was much lazier.
Thank you so much. Are you hungry? Has it been a long day?
I'm hungry. Thank you for asking.
Eat breakfast? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like shaking right now.